Town of Monroe Board of Finance, regular meeting Thursday, April 18th, 6 p.m. This meeting will be recorded and made available on the town's website pursuant to state law. If you're attending remotely, please remember to mute your microphone unless you are speaking. Anyone participating remotely should state their name and title, if applicable, at the outset of each occasion that such person is speaking. All votes taken during which any members of this body are participating remotely should be taken by roll call unless the vote is unanimous. Chat feature will not be utilized nor considered during this meeting. All right, so we are called to order, 6:01. We have Rebecca O'Donnell.
Present.
Steve Kirsch.
Present.
Samantha Spino.
Present.
Catherine Stoffer.
Present.
Nicholas Centivides.
Present.
First Selectman Terry Rooney.
Here, sir.
We have Deb Heim. No Deb?
Deb.
Okay. Frank Duchess.
Here.
Frank. Ron Bonovsky.
I'm here, Mike.
Heidi Mead.
She's here. She looks like she's
Muted on the phone.
I don't know. I don't see her phone actually.
She's muted.
She was
was.
muting on the phone.
Perfect.
You there,
All
Heidi?
Heidi.
I'm present.
Great.
Bill Batar is here as well, Mike, from the Monroe Sun.
Okay. Someone want to make motion for the meeting minutes?
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the amended regular meeting minutes for February 15th, 2024.
Catherine Stoffer, a second.
Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, we pass unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the regular meeting minutes and voting record for March 21st, 2024.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Any comments, questions? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none, we approve unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the special meeting minutes and voting record for April 4th, 2024.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Any comments, questions? Hearing none. Any objections? Hearing none, we pass unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the special meeting minutes and voting record for April 11th, 2024.
Catherine Stoffer, a second.
Any questions, any comments? Hearing none, any objections? Hearing none, we pass unanimous. Beautiful. All right. Anybody for public participation in the room there?
Nope,
No.
Nobody
there?
Bill.
All right. Anybody on the phone?
Bill, you got anything to say, Bill? Very exciting. It's very
He's
exciting.
always got something to say. There you go. All right. Hearing none, good. Review of 2024 financial reports. And Ronnie, you want to call out of the general?
Yeah,
forum?
so I'll entertain questions. There's really nothing major, no major changes from last month. Heidi, I don't know if you want to add anything before I entertain any questions. And you're muted again. Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. No, I have nothing to add, Ron.
That was easy. Anybody have any questions for Ron or Heidi?
No, come on, Steve. All right.
Does not appear so, Mike.
Beautiful. All right, Ron,
Okay, so
anything on the...
Yeah, so that was A
Yeah.
and B. The quarterly Board of Ed, same thing. No major changes from last quarter that haven't been discussed or any. I believe it was discussed. I believe Joe had mentioned last meeting that last time he was here that the education cost sharing, not education, I'm sorry, the excess cost, we will be receiving less than anticipated. But I also anticipate we'll be able to absorb that hit throughout the overall in the budget. So no real concern there.
Got
Also in your pack are the quarterly trial balances that are issued to you guys quarterly, and also the quarterly report to the fire department. The only one we've received so far is Monroe's. We have not received Stephanie or Stevenson's. But they, their quarterly payment is held up unless they get it to us. So we anticipate we'll be getting their quarterly reports before Stevens.
All right. Anything trial balance, or anybody have anything on the fire departments? All right. Hearing none, we'll go to the tax collector. I don't know if Deb's with us.
I am with you. How are you?
There you
this
are.
morning?
Excellent. Perfect timing.
Our just-in-time tax collector.
Just-in-time tax collector, exactly.
Nothing significant. All I wanted to say was the notices went out, our collections went up, and we last week we sent everything to collections to the collection agency, and the collection agency notified us those letters will be going out probably, if they didn't go out today, tomorrow. So hopefully we'll have a huge increase in collections again.
Okay. All right.
Any questions?
No, the numbers.
I love your new master control.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I said I love your new master control.
Oh, I think that has to do with Heidi put it into a I will do that in the future too, put it in columns so it makes it look more easier.
That's
not as busy.
All good.
Yeah, much easier to read.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. Frank?
Mike, I'll be quick here because we'll spend some time on revenue when we get there. March, again, a very good month from an interest standpoint. Interest rates continue to stay up. We're looking at the stiff rate has really been steady, right up at like 5.42%. It's fluctuated up to 5.43, down to 5.41, but pretty steady. We had $300,000 of interest during the month. We've got 3 months to go. If I take the first 9 months, average it out, we're averaging about $254,000 a month. Obviously, when you get to May and June, it's smaller because we're waiting for the new taxes to come in. But if we average that out, it says we're going to come in for the full year around $3 million against our budget of 1.3. Steve and I had a brief conversation before this. I guess I mentioned started to look at 2-year treasuries to see if we wanted to do something there as a hedge against falling interest rates. But I've said I've held off because the falling interest rates have remained higher for longer, and it looks like that's going to continue. So I'm going to hold off on that until we see a little bit more direction-wise. As a matter of fact, the 10-year note has actually inched up here recently. So I'm going to hold off on that. And the rest of it we can talk about when we get to the revenue.
Perfect. All right. Anybody have anything else for Frank right now? We'll roll into the budget workshop. All right. Good. Good timing. So we will roll into the budget workshop. I've got kind of a hit list of stuff that I think we've talked about that we just want to try to finalize. So I think Heidi's going to hopefully be able to bring up the budget doc, and we can make some adjustments, see what we look like.
Can you see the budget document? I have it up.
I got it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. Let's start with the Board of Ed. I'm bring it up on my big screen, so I'm not going to look at my phone here. And I know we had,
You know?
What page is that in the,
Yeah.
offhand, no, I don't.
It's 37.
Not so, that's what the index is.
Yes, 37, correct.
138.
all right, and we had proposed making the adjustment to reinstate some of those pieces that we had talked about. And then I think we had also looked at an additional 10,000 for the software.
That's right. So what's showing there includes the software. So it includes the summer reading, the literacy lab at Massac, the lunch recess paras, the instructional supplies across all the district, and the software renewal.
Perfect. Everybody still good with that number?
The only one we haven't had any conversation, I don't know if you've had any further with Joe or if Ron has, and that was the facilities, because while we talked about critical item or crisis kind of items, I don't know what made up that number. And so I don't know if Joe has backed off of his concerns at all.
Spoke to him and he felt like they could handle it with what we've given them. And
Okay.
I think we've got the facility study. I spoke to him a couple hours ago to just make sure there wasn't anything else he wanted to address or if anything had changed. And he said he was good to go. So I told him he didn't need to come.
Okay. I'm good.
All right. Everybody good with that one? All right. Frank, you want to take us through the revenue?
Well, I'm going to take you through the interest part of the revenue.
Yes, that's the
Not all of
that's
it.
that's the interesting part. Yeah,
Another bad finance joke.
exactly.
Mike, I think you probably got an electronic copy of what
I
I'm
did.
going to walk through from Heidi.
Yes.
Frank, I apologize. I actually included these in the packet.
Oh, they're in the packet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Version 9.
Version 9. Yeah. Okay. Just a couple comments before we get started. I know we went through some of this on Monday night. But as we know, this has been a moving target, particularly with the Fed. Even since Monday night, Jay Powell has added his 2 cents, and he seems like he's pushing interest rate reductions out even further. And there were 2 other Fed presidents, and I can't remember off the top of my head, who were also saying probably going to be higher for longer. But I still think from a planning standpoint, what we have here directionally, again, it's not meant to be a precise number, but directionally shows us where we go. Kind of to review where we were on Monday night, the first column, the first set of numbers you see says we're starting at 5.25% as we enter July 1. And the first one says if that stayed flat for the year, that would be the number that we would get. And the way this is calculated, it basically takes the interest rate, divides it by a monthly factor, and multiplies it by a seasonalized closing balance for that month. Again, that doesn't take into account that we could have a closing balance at the end of the month of $60,000. And during the course of the month, it could have fallen to $40,000. Sorry. Terry, I don't know if you have this. You have it. Okay. But so that looks at it flat. The second one, or the middle, says, look, we're starting at that same 2.5%. We're going to reduce it 6 times 0.25, or a total of 1.5% over the course of the year. The final one is the most aggressive in terms of the cutting. That says we're going to reduce it 0.25 each month, and that's a total of 0.275. And I think, as I talked about last time, if you look at even the Fed dot plot, which is the 19 members who over the course of a year vote on what the Fed number should be, there's a wide range there. You know, it goes from, what did I have here? Oh, I had it on a different note. Sorry about that. Let me pull up something else. Okay. For 2024, they range from 4.25 to 5.25. For 25, between 2.5 and 5.25. And you get out to 26, and they're between 2.25 and 4.75. These are the Fed members. They're all over the place. So what this does is give us some guidance in terms of what it might look like. And I think as we talked on Monday night, probably the middle column is the most realistic. So that would say you could take the 1.6 that we did with a December estimate, and you could go from in that 2.5 to 2.6 range in terms of increasing it. What you asked for, Mike, was to take a look at not only do we have to be concerned with what we're increasing it this year, but what does next year look like and the impact on next year's budget? So what I did in the next page that you have, I just took the 3.75, which was the ending interest rate on that middle model, and used that as our starting point. And then what I did was I moved it down the 0.25 basis points over the course of the year. And if you look at it, that second one that's in blue actually aligns pretty closely to where the Fed members were for 2026. So that tells you we could drop significantly to about 1.7. I think this is probably overly conservative because I don't think we're going to quite get to all those interest rate drops in 25, 26, which means we may not get them all in 26, 27. But again, this is just to give you an idea and some basis where to set the number. Any questions?
So if we take the middle one in blue, we're looking at 2.6 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, my thought process was to plug in 2.5.
That was my thought.
Slightly quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I was the other day, and that hasn't changed.
Good.
And that's,
all right, Heidi.
That's versus this 1.6.
Correct. Correct.
So that would put us an adjustment of 900.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
This is very helpful to see it like this.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is exactly what I was looking for. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
And what Frank said earlier, one of the things that I asked him is if things change and we see that it's going to drop faster, one of our options is obviously to take the ladder out further and lock in some, some additional value or keep it up. So
right.
The one thing I did point out to Steve is the ladder is very helpful in terms of what we're doing. But the reality is the ladder is the smaller portion of the overall number that we're getting interest on. It's really the general fund account. Right. And that's the one that fluctuates during the month a lot more. Right now we have about 13 million, in T-bills, but and we're looking to bring that up maybe to about 18 overall, but still the largest part of our number is not in that mix, but it does give us some hedge as we see dropping interest rates.
Okay.
So you're talking about investing in more longer term things now while interest rates are higher?
Well, and that's what Steve and I were talking about. And I'm not ready to do it because with seeing the 10-year inch up, the 2-year could still be inching up further. So if I saw a precipitous drop, I would jump on that. But right now, I'm not ready to do that.
And they're saying with inflation, everything that, like you said, if everything stays
Right.
for longer.
Right.
Those may jump.
Right.
Makes
Right.
sense.
Just
Because
be a longer
if
tail.
we jump on the 2-year, we're losing out because it's still lower than what we're getting either in stiff or in the 6-month.
Gotcha.
Yeah, my view is that this is risk further out, I'm talking about mitigating risk,
For
in the first-
26.
for 26 or the first part of, even calendar year 25, but not for the next 6, 7, 8 months. I don't see it needing to do that.
Okay. Very good. Anything else for Frank? We might circle back, but let's at least give us a starting point.
Okay.
All right. I've got 2 more quick things on my list. The one is roads. I know we had touched on this briefly, and I know I've spoken to Steve about this at length at times. I would like to see us get back to that $1 million budget number in roads in the operating. I just think long term, by having it there, it makes it easier to keep it there. So I would advocate putting that cut back in, which will get us back to $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about what the town intended back in 2010, what the town was told was that we would be adding 100,000. At that time in 2010, 11, we had 350.
What happened?
I don't know. Well, we're not hearing anything on the line.
That was my fault. I'm sorry.
Can you hear us now, Mike?
I hit the mute button with my binder by accident.
I was starting to take it personally. I know all the 2010. I remember the 2010 meetings.
Yeah. So
you have to repeat it for me.
Okay. Well, anyway, my point was that in 2010 we were talking about, or the first selectman and the director of public works at the time were talking about adding $100,000 to the operating budget for at least 9 years, which at the time we had 350,000. So that would put you a little over, $1 million. That would actually be there for road surface, let's say. So putting that back now, here we are in our 14th construction season. I think that's a good idea. And, if we can stay under the first selectman's goal of a 2% mill rate increase, I think we ought to do it. We can leave it there, and then we can augment that number going forward, even during the year, with the town aid road funds. For some of the other things that we've talked about. It's just a question of where the dollars show up, in the near term. But if we want to expand it, we have the town aid roads.
Okay.
So is everyone good with Heidi for now? Adding the 380,166 back.
That brings it back.
Bring that line item to $1 million. Heidi, you Heidi.
Yes. So, Mike, we're bringing it up to a total of 1 million.
Correct.
Not adding back 1
Correct.
million.
No.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. The next thing I would like us to look at is the fund balance use. So I think we presently are at 2,950.
Yep.
I would propose bringing this down to 2.5. again, it's still a good chunk, but I know Steve has brought up some concerns about using too much of it at one time. We'll obviously need to wean off of it after the next couple of years, but I feel like this just gives us a little closer number, and I think it'll still get us to where we need to be.
Yeah, if we can stay within the 2% mill rate increase, I think we ought to drop it down. I think we ought to look at, as we discussed and as you pointed out last year, using additional fund balance for capital projects, and
right.
Mid-year we can look at things. Now, we said we would do it last year, outside of the this budget process. We could go back and revisit capital things. I don't think we really did.
No, we didn't.
But when we whatever the actual June 30th of this year, when we know what we've really got,
right,
I would like to go back and between us and with the council, have a meeting and with the departments, look at those things that can be moved in a year or two and knock off a bunch of stuff without having to go to bonding.
So Mike, would that change? We're still within our own policy. Are we still outside of our policy? We're still outside it. Okay.
We'll see if Ron can give us an estimate on where he thinks we'll land.
We're still on the high end. I don't know if we're above, but we're on the high end. We're still.
Okay.
Yeah, my assumption would be that it would take us probably 3 years to get down to the middle ground. And, if we did, the 2.5 this year and maybe 1.75 next year and the $1 million the next year, I think that would get us, to where we want it to be and wean us off slowly.
Well, Mike, I think also the fact that you're going to have an extra $900,000 in interest revenue should allow you to offset that 350 and still contribute some portion of it to reduce the overall number that's going out. Because I think if you can go out with a final number, again, below the 2% target, but if you can go out with something a little bit less than what the first selectman put out, I think the town sees that as Board of Finance and town council doing due diligence to get the best number and maybe get a first round pass.
That's the hope.
Yep.
All right. So how do you want to plug us in at a minus 450 there? Boom. Beautiful. All right. And then the last piece I had, or the last notes I had for us to discuss, and then there's 2 other little house cleaning issues I'll have, is we talked about looking at the financing the position or going to full-time. And I think Ron had some numbers on that.
Yeah, actually,
around 60,000.
Heidi had worked them up. It was all in with, fully loaded with the position is 60,000.
Okay, I would propose putting that in wage adjustments.
Yeah,
I would propose putting that in wage adjustments, which means that we did our part and financed it. If town council and the first selectman decide to do that, the money's there. And if it's not there, it'll just sit there for wage adjustments.
So
that's a union position. So
correct. So we can't add it. We have to go through a process. But at least if we finance it, then it's there. Our part of it's covered.
So that's a $60,000 increase.
Yeah,
not
correct.
60,000 total.
Correct.
Okay.
No, $60,000 increase.
Okay.
So yeah, I favor that. That's I think a good way to do it. I actually went and pulled the town council minutes from their meeting where they approved the budget, and one of the and I was there, so I knew that they had said it, is that they had actually talked explicitly about allowing us, the Board of Finance, to review it, provide additional time for us and the first selectman, and obviously we then held. We then brought the director in. So, in fact, I think we're following what the council's general idea is, because they had a motion on the table that they withdrew in favor of passing it down the line to us. So I think that's
good.
I think we've made a good decision.
All right, let's plug it in. Okay. And then the last thing I wanted us to look at or talk about was collection rate.
How are we looking on the BAA and where we're at with adjustments today?
So, the first selectman and myself just spoke with the assessor about, we figured about an hour ago.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. With what we have in contingency right now, we're covered. He feels there's a couple issues. He feels there's still some, I don't want to, some of these things may go to court, so I don't want to talk specifics, but there's still some risk out there.
Mm-hmm.
The BAA adjustments weren't actually that big, but he feels there's a couple, two big ones in particular that
are going to go to court.
That are probably
Okay.
That BAA didn't touch. So doesn't know that for a fact, but having said that, we feel we're good with contingency. The other thing he wanted us to consider was, which is really outside the scope of this, but we're going to be going through a reval. So there's going to be some risk on and we feel there's going to be an adjustment because it's happening all over, a shift in property tax burden commercially to residential.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just something we kind of have to.
But that's not going to be reflected there now.
It's not going to be reflected now.
It'll be the 26th fiscal year.
Yeah, it does have an impact of, how do we mitigate some of that? How big of a pushback is there? Is there going to be a pushback? I think other municipalities are finding that they're encountering that. Because it's not only.
Yeah, but if we decide to raise our collection rate, our percentage. Mm-hmm.
It's the entirety of the grand list though. So it's like everyone's slice of the pie will get redistributed when the reval happens.
Yeah, a year from now. Mm-hmm. So I don't think a reval that's happening in October is going to affect our collection rate when we send out a tax bill 3 months.
No,
it's not.
No,
it's just something to think about now.
Yes. It's something to keep in mind.
Yes.
We've seen what has happened over the years in reval years in terms of the number of referendums it takes, in terms of just the reval's impact on, percent increase in the mill rate where everything, even if expenditures stayed.
Probably a reduction in the mill rate, but an increase.
Well, some years it's been, that's right, because it's where do those numbers fall? So I think, yes, we have to keep that in mind, but I don't think we need to use it to make a decision if we should increase the percentage, the collection rate.
So
unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, no. So you're not. But so where we are, to get back to the contingency and where we are in the overall grand list with the contingency we have built in, the thought was we probably could move the collection rate up and still have enough contingency there to cover any risk.
I wanted to see it, at least just see what it looks like at like 98.9 and 98.9 to 99.1.
Which is where I was.
Yeah.
So
just to see what it looks like.
I brought the CAFR with me today because I had talked to Ron about this a while ago. He says, well, it should be in the back. And yes, it's in table 7, page 130 of our last CAFR. So if you look at the prior 10 years, 2014 to 2023, our percent of current taxes collected, in 3 of those years, it was 99% or higher. In another 4 of those years, it was 98.9%. or higher. So like 98.91, 98.97. So only in 3 of those 10 years, and one of those was in 2020, were we below 98.8. So I think we can clearly go up to 98.9, or
That was my number.
or maybe 99. And again, that's,
I think 98.9 is I think it gets us to where we want to be and doesn't give Deb a heart attack.
I just wanted to see, you know, a
Just
little
maybe a
higher
quick
just
jump.
to appease myself.
well, just fine.
Play with the
Yeah,
numbers, let's
just
just
for
look at
fun.
it.
You want to try 90, try the 2 numbers and let's see what the difference is. 98.9
And 99.
do one and then do the other and see where we end up.
98.9 is on the board.
I'm writing it down.
What do you think, Terry?
I'm having a tough time seeing the board exactly.
So
1 point.
it's a
Point.
38.23. It's a 1.81 increase.
Thank you, Heidi.
1.81% increase at 98.9.
At 99.
Yeah, 99. Okay.
Was it at 98.9? I wrote it down. 191. Right. 38.20. So it's 38.23 to 38.26.
Yeah.
38. Yeah. 38.
38.27. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm conservative when it comes to revenue side of it. So
So
I like the 98.9.
Okay. So on the night, Steve, on your data, how many hit 99?
We used to be at 98.7 back.
Yeah, there was a
jumped up
time.
from it.
So 99 or above. 1, 2,
So Manny used to kill us.
3 out of the last 10 years, we were at 99. So we had a 99.02, a 99.06, and a 99.04.
Okay. Yeah, I like the 98.9.
Okay. In the 98.9 range, we were at 98.97, 98.91, 98.98, 98.96.
Okay.
Plus your 99, so the majority of them would be up above that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. So 7 out of the 10 years, we were at or above 98.9.
Right. So that's still a conservative view.
Yeah.
And again, with the contingency in the grand list that we feel.
Right.
Plus it will grow with COs as the year goes on, and there will be, I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't know if he does the prorated increase, but it will grow as the year goes on, and the sub list is, who knows what will happen with that.
How is it gonna grow?
Well, with the real estate COs, and that's why I kind of stopped myself, because each town is different.
Well, even if you add it, it's a percentage of the collection, so there is,
But we're building the budget on the grand list right now, right?
So that's what I'm saying, with the adjustments in the grand list, it may wash out a little bit with any increases that come.
Oh, okay,
Right.
any increases, yeah, or
Yeah.
any decrease, yeah, I know there's a couple, yeah, okay. Yeah, if right now we're averaging, what was the increase? We're averaging this year, we're at a negative $103,000
In the grand list.
from what the original, from the original proposal that the assessor removed, dollar wise, $103,000 he removed.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not anything hasn't added, and most of the stuff has been deducted because of whatever.
Specifically, a $1.2 billion
on the assessor side.
Okay.
That's minute.
Right.
That's
Right.
very minor.
That's
I mean,
flat.
That's a rounding error. I mean, that's not even gonna show up.
That's not moving any needle.
No.
Nope. Perfect.
So
All right.
we're gonna book it at 98.9.
Sounds
For
good.
38.27. That's good.
30. No, that
That's really good.
98.9 would give us 38.23.
7.
2.7.
2.6
It's
something around.
2.692.
2692. Yeah.
For a 1.913% increase.
Correct.
So under your 2%.
Yep.
191. I like it.
I think that's I think that's really good. I mean, I'm just going through my list that I talked about in the joint meeting with the town council, and we've hit all of
Yeah, I thought I
mine.
got it. The only other thing that
No.
nothing. It's kind of a little off budget, but I figured since we're talking about it, they did ask us to give them a number of where we would be comfortable with the total bonding number.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you
And
about
that's advisory.
capital.
Right.
Because
Before we jump to capital,
Yeah.
can I just speak to medical insurance real quick?
Please.
Because we did, Heidi spent a fair amount of time with our HR department and our broker, scrubbing the current census, looking at open positions, and we feel, we don't have open enrollment until May. But we feel comfortable with the number with the adjustment that's in there at the 278, coupled with the fact that we've got contingency if needed. We feel comfortable where we are. Just wanted to put that out there.
And that's town and Board of Ed?
That's town and Board of Ed.
Okay.
So that contingency could be used either. Obviously, there's more risk with the Board of Ed because there's more employees. But,
Yep.
And I hate to say it, but you look in the paper and Sikorsky laying off 400 people, right?
Mhm.
If somebody's carrying their bennies through there, you could have more people jumping on here. I mean, that's the reality.
Right.
so while we're still on town stuff, we penciled in, we put in at the last meeting this list of adjustments from Ron for human resources, police, debt service. Is there any other, this is all, I mean, it's only been
Yes.
a week, but.
Yeah, the one that we really looked at there was, we had spent a lot of time with the police, the movement after the contract,
Right.
but we spent a lot of time the last couple of days on the insurance, and we're comfortable.
Okay. And so we still have 2 bargaining units outstanding?
Yeah, so you still have highway and clerical. I'll be meeting with highway tomorrow. They're talking to highway tomorrow.
Okay. So we've got that covered in wage adjustment.
Those are in wage adjustment.
And so we'll have some similar tweakings when that gets done, but again, it's not going to move the needle.
All right.
That's all I had, Mike. Thanks.
Good.
So I think I cut you off moving to capital.
You did. That's
My
okay.
apologies.
I didn't take it personally. We'll get there. All right. So we discussed a couple things with council on the capital. Specifically, I know the highway kind of pulling one of those projects forward a year.
So
what else was there on
so
that?
Heidi can pull the capital up. So based on our discussions at the last meeting, I did we highlighted and made some changes. So maybe what we could do is just walk through the capital budget and capital plan. It was well, when we get there, I think everything will make sense. Mike, I don't know, would you like me to speak to it or?
Yeah, go ahead. You can
Yeah,
take us out.
We're on page 181 ish.
Probably.
Yeah, this is for the current fiscal year.
That's 180.
The 180 and
That was
181.
in front of
Okay,
us.
180 in the book.
Yeah, so the proposed capital budget, which is basically the first year of the capital plan, right? So, fire services, the three highlighted items. And again, I know we're not gonna be purchasing them because of the delay in the build for any, what is it, 30+ months out. I moved them all into the capital budget, adjusted the amounts because we will be authorizing and appropriating the bonding. Okay.
Yep.
So I didn't want it to get confusing by having them in out years. The reality is they'll be placed into service until out years, but so it was those. It was Monroe tanker the 73, it was the Stepney pumper 102, and it was the engine tanker 75.
And who's that for? Oh, sorry.
The first two are Monroe fire, and the third one was Stepney.
And is one of those tankers for Monroe to replace the ladder?
The ladder is not part of this.
Well, they're not. Well, right, because they're not doing the ladder. Okay, so it's two tankers.
So you're talking about tanker 75.
Yeah.
In which one?
And the Stepney pumper.
Correct.
Pumper 102. Okay, so Monroe is getting two tankers, or we're just authorizing the capital for.
So they could put the purchase order in.
Yeah. This would, because these are bonding, they would still have to go to a town meeting.
Right.
They'd have to get approved by you separately with a formal vote, this board, town council, and a town meeting.
Okay, so so the pumper is now being carried at $1 million something?
$1.2 million.
$1.2 million instead of 900,000.
Yeah, and that's what Chief Catalano, with the price escalation now.
Okay. And the tankers, the 70 tanker 75?
1.2.
1.2.
Tanker 75 is 750.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, I got a question, Ron, just in relation to what was in the original book.
Yeah.
Tanker 75 was the one that when we talked about it was 900,000 before that they were talking about raising.
Yeah, so there were some typos in the original.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We
won't hold it against you.
Okay.
It looks like there's an extra line in this one versus what we have here, but like on the support in the back, there's the additional lines because it went out to 25, 26.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm seeing. So we pushed something that was supposed to be 25, 26 into the current bonding for the current year. So that's
so
why
we can order them early.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was discussed at the meeting Monday, and I believe Chairman Mauer actually.
Chairman Mauer.
Yeah.
Chairman from
I'm sorry, not Chairman. Town Council member Mauer.
Yeah. There you go.
But I think there was some consensus there to get everything.
Yes, they all
appropriated. At the same time, so they can,
right.
So they can start the build.
Tanker 75 is 750.
Yes. The three vehicles. Yes, that's something.
So Heidi, if you scroll down, is there any questions on that?
No.
No. Heidi, I'm sorry, Heidi, scroll back up where the other next yellow was. I think we moved at animal shelter repairs. That was moved out of police private duty. We reduced it
to grants, right?
Yeah, it's going to be. Looks like we're going to be able to cover it 100% with the steep grant. Best available information hasn't gone off the bid yet.
So that 870.
Yeah, I mean, right now, best available information according to the architect's projections was 384,000. It's not in real time when they start getting the cost estimates together, but that gives you a really nice cushion of $100,000+ of contingency. So it's a nice comfortable spot to be. Yes, hopefully we can cover with the steep grant. The good thing about the steep grant, there's not a buy-in percentage, so so that's which a lot of grants come with.
We have I know the other night they said they could build it very quickly, but how long is that grant good for? We do have to use it like a certain number of years.
Yeah, I don't remember when the grant ends, but it's.
I don't think it's gonna be an issue because Chris and Bill said they'll be able to build this as soon as they get the.
Yeah, and also, you know, we had that situation also with the EMS facility. And they do offer extensions if that was to happen, but that's not gonna be the case. This is a very small in comparison to that.
Yeah, okay.
Next highlighted item, Mike, I don't know if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, exactly, because I wanted to bump the road number to 1.5. And then with the $1 million we put in the operating gives us 2.5 a year. I just think it's time we increase that a little bit.
Mike, is that increasing it in the bonding that's gonna be done July, or is that out years?
No, this is out years. The bonding in July was for last year's.
Okay.
So
What's being issued was what's being issued with the bonding.
Has already been authorized.
Right.
Yeah, we did one in February of last year. We did one phase 9, and then we did phase 10 in October. The public approved it. Obviously, we approved it.
Yeah. So Heidi, if you scroll to the bottom.
So correct. This would be phase.
I'm sorry. You know what? Let's not jump too far ahead. Actually, you know what? Let's do this now.
Might as well.
Yeah, scroll down. The other item was
always
just
like to cheat ahead.
The highway. That was pulling the 220 forward.
Right.
For the highway office.
Right.
That was
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
where
is that?
Down at the bottom.
Keep going. She's just teasing us now.
Yeah. Scroll down, Heidi.
It was here, Stephen, 181.
So instead of the 70,
that's good, Heidi. Thank you.
Is that instead of the 75?
It was highway office.
The 220 was
pulling the 220 there. If you look
the 220 was in the prior year. That's why it's not on this page.
To make it one appropriation.
Yeah.
Okay. One lump sum.
Yeah, that's why this page 181 doesn't reflect it, because this only reflects the current year. And the 220
you have to go back to the capital
220 was in the 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that was discussed
and that was discussed with the council.
So what the bottom calculation does is it shows total projects above, not including any bond issuance costs. So it's backing out the 3 fire apparatus, because those will not be bonded for next year, not this July, but next July. There's a Board of Ed previously authorized project that I'm not bonding for this year. I anticipate I'll be bonding for it next year, issuing the bonds.
Right.
I got projected issuance costs. That brings the total down to about 7.2 million. I did have our
so wait, what
is that 7.2 above what's being done this July?
That'll be
July
26. So projecting that out and what that would do to debt service in, I believe the discussion was what will that do to debt service in 25, 26? So 2 years out. Keeps it relatively flat based on best available information right now on what would be.
Okay.
So that covers the roof replacement at Jockey Hollow, right? Yes.
Yes.
That's making the assumption we actually end up bonding for everything else that's in there.
Yeah.
And again,
I'm just looking at the big one, because that would be as soon as we, give them the okay, or as soon as the citizens pass this budget, then they can start doing the work they need to do, so they can line up a contractor, because that's summer work for next summer for calendar year 25.
Right.
Yeah, I think the only caveat, and I think that's Jockey. So
it is Jockey Hollow.
That is Jockey Hollow. I don't think there's any anticipation that Jockey Hollow is going to be, anything's going to be happening with Jockey Hollow. That roof is original.
Yes, I know.
Which is 1998. So it's time.
No, this is right in line with when it was projected, and I mean, we were up on that roof for the last facility study in 2015. I mean, it's the only roof that hasn't been touched since, you know, in the last cycle of roofs.
Okay, so I guess the $1 million question is, are we comfortable with this, 7.2 to 7.5 kind of range, which is what I was thinking would be a reasonable level based on what we've got on bonding.
Given where we are and given our capacity, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Me too.
I am
Good.
I mean, if anything, if there were some worthwhile projects, I'd move something, I mean, they're all, I think, worthwhile.
No, I mean, my comfort level was 7.5 to 8. So
yeah, I mean, I would like us to move things in. We tend to continually, for whatever reason, move things out, whether it's just, we just don't get things out to bid or whatever whatever the situation is. There are things you can go through and look historically that just keep getting moved out. And
but
we need to rely on the department heads to, scrub the numbers and tell us if there's something, worthwhile moving in, because we've got the capacity. We also have I think we also have the capacity in the general fund. So,
right. But again, I think all they're looking for is guidance from us of, our comfort level. So if we can tell them, 7.5 to 8, we're fine with, then we're done.
Yeah, I mean, if we book if we book by putting it in here at 7.2 or 3, and we tell them we're okay if
right.
we take it to 7.8, I'm good with that direction.
Okay. Everybody else?
Agree.
I agree, Mike.
Perfect.
So Mike, Heidi was kind enough to remind me, we didn't discuss debts. I had proposed some changes to debt, some minor changes, relatively speaking, to debt service.
Please hit it.
A week ago.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure everyone was still on board with that was just to, better available information as opposed to when the budget was initially prepared.
So point us, please.
Heidi, you want to pull the base budget back up? And debt service.
Debt service and other appropriations, page 38, according to the index.
Just looking that up.
Yeah, it's right there. So it was those two.
Okay, department. 950, and it's
a little over $40,000 increase.
Okay.
Okay, so the committed by departments was 125,000. And we're gonna add 14,250. And we're gonna add 27,701. That's just scrubbing the numbers as to what we're doing, Ron?
Correct.
Okay.
It's on the new debt that's going to be issued. It's
right.
kind of anticipating what, projecting, what the interest rate's going to be on the new debt.
Okay.
Right.
The market at there's a
lot of variables going into that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I like more conservative numbers, so I'm happy with it. Everybody else is good. All right. Anybody have anything else?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I'd just like to say, Heidi and Ron, the budget package you guys put together is amazing. And
Yes.
for me, being able to follow through with it, I appreciate the work you all do.
Absolutely agree.
100%.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Heidi.
I think, I think Frank stole my
Oh, I'm sorry.
as well, yeah, just being my first budget, obviously on council going through it for multiple years and now being in the first selectman seat. It's just been a pleasure working with Ron and Heidi through the whole thing. And, Frank's humble, but he's the unsung hero in our investments. So thank you.
Interest
as
rates
well.
are the unsung hero.
We know the inside joke.
Still on top.
We're on camera right now. But, even working with this board of finance, there's always sticky moments and points of contention, but it's been a very good experience the first time through. So thank you, all of you, for supporting, what I thought was the result that I'm seeing now makes me very, very happy that we're actually going downward with the mill rate. So thanks for everybody's work here too.
So two more, just some things, because we do have some new people on the body. So we're going to do, we have to do the round robin approvals, and then following the pass on the first time, we will convene and set the mill rate in a very quick meeting that is usually followed by drinks, first round on the chairman. So that is the plan going forward.
So,
we're gonna take a recess.
Everything.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's okay. I think Heidi's got them linked from the base budget. I think
Ron's gonna print it.
I'm gonna go offline, talk to Heidi, see if I can get them printed out. I assume everyone's gonna, we're gonna do go around the table, so everyone will have.
Yep.
So I need
Mike,
You can send me an electronic copy, right?
Yeah, we'll take I think a 10-minute recess.
10-minute recess, perfect. Sounds good.
I'm gonna ask for, I guess we'll stop the recording for 10 minutes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, you should.
All right.
It's 7:02.
Okay.
See you in 10 minutes.
More than new folks. If you look, you're gonna get filled in copies, but in the back of the agenda package for tonight, you will find all of the motions that have to be made. And the way in which we do it is somebody
I assume pausing the recording is what I want?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so because we're doing this real time, Heidi's going to be kind of the check. She'll have the base budget to make sure this is linked to the base budget, so everything should flow.
So Heidi, what we're gonna do is Mike's gonna be the leader and call out each one. We're gonna do the round robin here at the table. So hopefully we'll do it and you'll be able to hear and everything will go smoothly.
One thing to note is the motion to approve the general fund revenue budget for total interest and dividends that is filled in already. So if we could just cross that out.
Where you see? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Notice it says by and seconded and passed.
Where is it? Oh,
The
Fifth one
Yeah.
down, yeah.
Yeah, you could ignore it. This actually gets passed given to the person doing the minutes, so.
Right. So, yeah.
And as you guys round the table, this is obviously recorded, but I'll make note of all that too.
Perfect. All right. Are we ready to go?
We are.
Let's start it with a motion.
Okay. Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund revenue budget for total property taxes of $89,702,241.
A second.
Nick Santamento, second.
We have any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We're unanimous.
Nick Santamento to approve the
2024-2025 general fund revenue budget for total licenses and permits of $1,200,915.
Do we have a second?
Second, Samantha Spino.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. Pass unanimous.
Samantha Spino has a motion to approve the 24-25 general fund revenue budget for total intergovernmental revenue of $7,173,538.
Rebecca O'Donnell, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. Unanimous.
Rebecca O'Donnell, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund revenue budget for total charges for services of $938,000.
Second.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Catherine Stoffer, it worked out. We didn't really have to change anything. All right. I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund revenue budget for total interest and dividends of $2,500,000.
Steve Kirsch, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed?
That's really weird.
That's a discussion.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund revenue budget for total other revenue of $95,000.
Second.
Nick Santamento, second.
Discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We're unanimous.
Nick Santamento, motion to approve the 2024-2025 total general fund operating revenue of $101,609,694.
Second.
Samantha Spino, seconds.
Any discussion? Any opposed? Hearing none. We're unanimous.
Samantha Spino motions to approve the 24-25 general fund budget for total other financing sources of $2.5 million.
Rebecca O'Donnell, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Rebecca O'Donnell, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 total general fund revenue and other financing sources of $104,109,694.
Second.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Catherine Stoffer, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the first selectman of $222,047.
Steve Kirsch, second.
Any discussion?
Heidi, could you scroll down
Numbers, if that helps you.
on the base budget?
Okay. Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the town attorney of $280,500.
Have a second.
Nick Santamento, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. Pass unanimous.
Nick Santamento, motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the town council of $4,700.
Second.
Samantha Spino, seconds.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
I, Samantha Spino, motion to approve the 24-25 general fund expenditure budget for the Board of Finance of $452,525.
Second.
Rebecca O'Donnell, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We're unanimous.
Rebecca O'Donnell, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the Registrar of Voters of $175,440.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none, we're unanimous.
Catherine Stoffer, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the town clerk of $196,809.
Steve Kirsch, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none, we're unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the tax collector of $218,622.
We have a second?
Nick Santomentis, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? That's unanimous.
Nick Santomentis makes a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the treasurer of $13,515.
Samantha Spino seconds.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. That's unanimous.
I, Samantha Spino, move to approve the 24-25 general fund expenditure budget for the boards and commissions of $13,070.
Rebecca O'Donnell, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. Unanimous.
Rebecca O'Donnell, I motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the senior center of $319,661.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We pass unanimous.
Catherine Stoffer, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for economic development department of $146,000.
Steve Kirsch, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We pass unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for human resources of $5,878,519.
Second.
Nick Santomentis, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. That's unanimous.
Nick Santomentis, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for finance of $358,207.
Samantha Spino seconds.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We pass unanimous.
I, Samantha Spino, move to approve the 24-25 general fund expenditure budget for information technology of $759,561.
Rebecca O'Donnell, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Rebecca O'Donnell, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the assessors of $267,992.
Catherine Stoffer, second. Oh, sorry.
No problem. Perfect. Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
All right. Catherine Stoffer, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for building of $223,327.
Steve Kirsch, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for planning and zoning of $302,158.
Second.
Nick Santomentis, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Nick Santomentis, make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for facility maintenance of $581,595.
Second.
Samantha Spino seconds.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We pass unanimous.
I, Samantha Spino, move to approve the 24-25 general fund expenditure budget for special programs of $166,536.
Rebecca O'Donnell, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. That's unanimous.
Rebecca O'Donnell, I motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for regional programs of $58,052.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? That's unanimous.
Catherine Stoffer, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for police of $7,156,836.
Steve Kirsch, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We pass unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the Monroe Fire Department of $305,279.
We have a second.
Nick Santamenta, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Nick Santamenta, make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the Stevenson Fire Department of $227,643.
Samantha Spino, seconds.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
I, Samantha Spino, move to approve the 24-25 general fund expenditure budget for the Stepney Fire Department of $304,693.
Rebecca O'Donnell, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We pass unanimous.
Rebecca O'Donnell, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the water distribution system of $676,586.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We pass unanimous.
Catherine Stoffer, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the fire marshal of $121,572.
Steve Kirsch, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We pass unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for emergency management of $26,475.
Second.
Nick Santamenta, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We pass unanimous.
Nick Santamenta, motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for EMS of $1,095,035.
Samantha Spino, seconds.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. Pass unanimous.
I, Samantha Spino, move to approve the 24-25 general fund expenditure budget for public works of $4,321,867.
Rebecca O'Donnell, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none. We pass unanimous.
Rebecca O'Donnell, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for sanitation of $563,901.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Catherine Stoffer, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the health department of $346,600.
Steve Kirsch, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for social services of $95,892.
Second.
Nick Santamenta, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none, we pass unanimous.
Nick Santamenta, motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the library of $959,097.
Smith Espino seconds.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none, we pass unanimous.
I, Samantha Spino, move to approve the 24-25 general fund expenditure budget for Parks and Rec of $615,547.
Rebecca O'Donnell, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Rebecca O'Donnell, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for the Board of Education of $71,464,259.
Catherine Stoffer, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Catherine Stoffer, I make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for debt service of $4,692,989.
Steve Kirsch, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none, we pass unanimous.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for total appropriations of $496,586.
Any discussion?
Nope, need a second.
Second.
Nope.
Nick
Sorry.
Santamenta, second.
Sorry, I fell asleep for a second there.
So did I.
Hearing none. Any opposed?
Hey,
Unanimous.
Mike, just
Yes,
a bit of housekeeping. That should be total other appropriations.
Got it. You want us to redo it?
Yeah, we might as well.
Amend
Might
the
as well.
motion.
No, just restate it.
Oh.
Just restate
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
The word total other should be inserted between total and appropriation.
Total other appropriations.
Perfect.
If you want to go ahead and remake it.
Actually, it's you, right?
Oh.
All right, I second it.
Is that me?
Correct.
Steve.
There's two left.
Really?
No. We'll make it.
Wheels are coming off the bus now.
Get some budget fatigue over here.
Steve Kirsch, I move to approve the 2024-2025 general fund expenditure budget for total other appropriations of $496,586.
Second.
Nick Santamenta, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none, we pass unanimous.
Nick Santamenta, motion to approve the 2024-2025 total general fund operating expenditure of $104,109,694.
Smith Espino seconds.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none, we pass unanimous.
This is a mouthful. I, Samantha Espino, move to approve the 24-25 capital budget of and the full capital budget and 5-year capital improvement plan as revised, and to have a copy, a complete copy of the 24-25 capital budget and 5-year capital improvement plan incorporated into the minutes for this meeting of $12,937,544.
Rebecca O'Donnell, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Any opposed? Hearing none, we pass unanimous.
Guys, great.
Congratulations.
Good.
Well done, all.
Do not
Really well
believe
done.
we have any further business.
I don't believe we do.
I want to move.
Heidi, can you just send me out a final copy of what we approved? Just the budget base, so in case I have to refer to it.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Sure. Thank you all.